So, when I thought of curating panels and what kind of conversation we need to bring in this conference, one thing was clear that what defines motherhood? Is it biological connection? I think it's not. Like for me, I feel it's more about a psychological connection that a mother child shares with a child, and it's the intention that matters. So, with that being said, I had to bring in adoption and surrogacy and LGBTQ parents. And today, we have wonderful people who've been on this journey, and we're going to have conversation around that. So this is a wonderful panel, and each one have amazing story about adoption, surrogacy, and of course our wonderful dad who represents LGBTQ. And I love his story and the family that he has. I'm going to let them introduce themselves because it's so much better coming from them.
It's afternoon already, right? So good afternoon, everyone, and I am Sougata. Very kind of you, Lakshmi, to introduce me with so much warmth. It's a special day, definitely for me. Yes. So multiple reasons, actually, right? First thing first, that to be here on this panel, on this conference, which is all about mom power. For a father, for a dad to be here on this panel alongside such wonderful women and mothers and a house full of such wonderful people out here. I think it's a great pleasure, privilege, honor. I'm a tad nervous, but I am excited nonetheless. The second reason, today is also a special day because while I'm here on this panel as a dad, I'm also a very out and proud gay man. I and my partner Mayank, he is sitting out there recording me. Uh, we've been together for the last 14 years, and we are very proud of the family that we have been able to build. We are fathers to our human babies, our son and our daughter. We are also fathers to our furry baby, two furry babies, and also our old babies, which is our parents. We all live together here in Bangalore. So again, I would say that this is possible because 7 years back on this date, that is 6th of September, when the Honorable Supreme Court of India struck down the Article 377, which criminalized homosexuality in India. Had that not been the case, today this man would not be sitting here, but perhaps be rotting in some closet because he would have been a criminal in his own country. So this date is hence special. And finally, which Lakshmi also mentioned, I begin a brand new decade of my life today. So it's my 40th birthday. And and to be able to celebrate my birthday with all you amazing people out here, this is a first for me. But now this talks about, or perhaps gives me hope that the next 10 years of my life are going to be really happening. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Looking forward to this day and looking forward to this panel. Thank you for having me, Lakshmi.
Should I start by singing for you? Or no, we'll wait when we want to empty the hall. Because I'm terrible at singing. Hi, I'm Antra Bhargava. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you firstly to Lakshmi, who has just brought such fresh energy to Bangalore and the concept of bringing together mothers in a safe space. Doesn't matter how you define mother as a gender or otherwise, but the ability to have these conversations is so important. My endeavor on this stage is going to be to try and be as honest as I possibly can with all of the difficult things that we go through. I am a mother by biological reproduction, shitting the first baby out 16 years ago, and the second one first through fostering and then through adoption as a process in India. The younger one is going to be 12 this month, and the elder one is 16. Both have special needs. I think I probably had special needs too. So it's a very challenging journey for me. I think most of the time I'm getting it wrong. Some days I feel I'm getting it right. And yeah, it's been, I also have another girl I call a daughter who is in Delhi. And she calls me Ma. She is a TED speaker called Chandni from the slums of Delhi, who's now built a fantastic NGO called Voice of Slum, and she educates 200 children herself. And so motherhood has come to me in many different forms. I divorced my first husband, who is a wonderful man and a wonderful co-parent to have. So I'm living proof that it doesn't really matter whether you're married or not. You can still be an excellent parent and co-parent with your past partner. And yeah, I'm a joyful human being. I think that's my wealth and my success. Happy to answer any questions you'll have.
Hi, I'm Sailaja. People call me Sai, and I am a psychotherapist. I'm also a teacher in psychotherapy. I also do a lot of leadership coaching. I'm an author, and I'm an adoptive parent. I adopted 25 years ago. My daughter, I have two daughters, both of them adopted, 25 and 20. The 25-year-old is a rocking chef today, and the 20-year-old is a fantastic baker. So I'm here today, just happy to share my stories. I find as a topic, adoptions today still raises eyebrows, still has a lot of quizzical questions on people's faces. So I'm really happy to, answer, interact in any form with any sort of questions that you have. I'm just happy to just share my story, and thank you, Lakshmi, for bringing up such a topic, because it's not something that I've often seen in even in parenting related conversations. I think this is such a needed conversation. So thank you for having us.
Good afternoon. My name is Srobona Das. We adopted our daughter when she was a year old. She's 15 and a half now, going on 19 and a half, and quite a handful. The reason I'm here is, one is I met Lakshmi at the last Mom Power conference when I was invited, and I was just taken in by, her commitment to taking the message of being a mom so seriously. Like, being a mom is not just about nature, it's not just something that happens to all of us, it's not just something that, you just get on with it for 20 years and then, okay, bye. But the way Lakshmi approaches parenting to me and brings in various different aspects and various different supports, which most of us do not see as important or serious enough to address. For example, intimacy, and bringing in an intimacy coach, right? So when she approached me for this panel, I was delighted. I run an adoptive parents group, support group, on Facebook. It may just sound like any other group. It's a private group. We are just going to turn 10 this year. And we have we have 5,600 plus members and counting. Now, it doesn't sound like a very large number because, Facebook groups are huge these days. But the reason it is contained is because adoption is, in many ways, all about the child. And in our group, we endeavor to protect the child while empowering the parents, which is why our group is called For and Of Heart Babies. It's for heart babies. It's by them. We have adoptive children. We have actually adoptees, adult adoptees, who have also adopted later. So yes, the major reason, I think the reason I'm here is to talk about the challenges that we face as adoptive parents, the challenges that people face in India to adopt legally, and the very fact that adoption is no different than any other kind of parenting. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Adoption is a huge topic. In fact, I had as you guys, some of you know, I have another initiative that I do called the Joy Box. And I visited a bunch of adoption, orphanages. I'm telling you, it was heartbreaking to see all these little babies at the critical years without affection, without parent to love and hold and nurture. And it's really heartbreaking. And what I figured is the process of adoption is a maze. It's not as easy. And I think there are a lot of, when I spoke to Kara, which is it's a adoption authority, all the adoption has to go through them. And then they were saying that the process is long because of risk of child trafficking and people coming in for wrong reasons, which is valid. But let's talk about that. The process of adoption, because I think there are a lot of them who want to adopt, and that's what I figured. There are so many who want to adopt children, and also there's so many who are out there who want to be adopted, but there seems to be a massive gap. So what's your take on that? I think for yeah.
Well, the first thing is I don't think everybody should have children. Okay, just wanting to have a kid doesn't make you a parent, or having one doesn't make you a good parent. We all know that, right? So I think, and I counsel a lot of parents or people who want to adopt or people who are going to have kids, just informally. It just ends up being, because once you're known as an adoptive parent, suddenly you've got a crown on your head, okay, which you don't deserve. But I think being an adoptive parent, my journey has made me a better parent to my biological child, because you're forced to confront a lot of your own biases, right? A simple one. The question I asked myself before I adopted is, if I died, when I die, does it matter to me who gets what? It's not just a simple question of, okay, the kids are going to get 50-50 of my assets. I sat down and said, okay, which piece of jewelry I have an emotional connection to? Does it matter which child gets it? Is my story important, right? What am I passing down to? So when you are detached from them biologically and you don't have that social form of reference, right? That, okay, she is your kid. Then you ask yourself a lot of the tough questions which you don't do when you just become a mom naturally, because you're gifted all of that. It's like, you are going to do all of this anyway. So I think the reasons that Kara has put forward and the reality of our country, we have several million orphans in our nation, right? And the waiting time for children can range. For newborn babies, the waiting list is many, many years. But after the age of 5, they are put into a file called unadoptable because nobody wants them, right? And from the age of 3 to 7, most of the children are returned, right? So the trauma level for a child is very significant. It doesn't really matter anywhere in the world how robust the systems are without the most important role of counseling, right? If you haven't gone through that process of counseling, if you haven't gone through that process of asking yourself tough questions, being guided to your own truth, you're going to pass it on to your kids, whether they're biological or adopted, and that's not fair. That's not you being a mom, because being a mom means you're putting your kid first, right? That's the only, I think, definition of love I understand, is wanting the best for them, not what you think is the best or what you wanted for yourself that you didn't get to do in your life, right? So there are a lot of reasons for that gap, and I believe this should be overcome, but it starts with us asking the tough questions. I'll pass it on to you.
I know you have some stats to share.
Yeah, well, I did a little bit of preparation. So currently there are over 36,000 parents officially registered with Kara. Now, this is last year's data, so it would have increased. Registered, and they are in a waiting list. The number of children available for adoption is less than 3,000. Now, when you look at that, the first thing will be, where are the children? In fact, a very dear friend and member of my group, Smriti Gupta, also runs this NGO called Where Are India's Children, right? And one thing which I've understood, while the process is tough, Kara is putting in lots of new rules, the verification process, etc. One of the major reasons is the children are not legally adoptable. They are not in an organization which supports adoption. They are not in the right orphanage, right, which is recognized. Many of them are in illegal orphanages. Many of them are abandoned. Many of them just have a parent missing. They really, really should be in a family, but they are not because there's no one to sign off. And therefore, like Antara mentioned, comes the horrible part where children are returned, right? Now, they return for various reasons. They return because parents can't deal with it. That number is a lot smaller than being returned for parents who pop up out of the woodwork, of natural parents or biological parents, or relatives who come and suddenly realize that this is the heir to my family, but you weren't around when the heir was being dumped in an orphanage, right? So these are some of the reasons which kind of bring the numbers down and increase the waiting list so much. 3.5 years is average for an infant. Infant is described as up to 2 years. And no, you cannot adopt a newborn baby as much as people tell you. You cannot. Because 60 days is the minimum. And by the time the paperwork and all of that happens, it's 5 months is possibly the youngest. Now, older children, it's a curious thing. I find parents who already have children don't mind adopting an older child, a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old. They feel that we would like to bring a child into our family who will be able to bond with these older kids, right? So that's another thing. But the stigma around bringing an older child home is huge. Will they adapt? What about language? What would they have learned? They won't be able to keep up with our kids, right? I mean, I have seen so many examples of kids who have so beautifully integrated because, like Antara said, it's just about being a parent and putting your child first. I'm saying parent because we have Sougata on stage with us too. Right. Put your child first, right? Biological, adopted, and, or, even if you're fostering the child, put your child first.
Right. I think it's more of an emotional connection that we share with the child, irrespective if we have given birth to them or adopted or through surrogacy. Now, what's been the challenges when we talk about like adoption, like for you, and how has it been raising a child? I mean, you've been adoptive parent for like almost 20 plus years now.
Yeah, I think the challenges have been, firstly, I think the closest circle, not understanding it.
Society.
Yeah, and I've had people telling me things like, "My respect for you is fallen after you've done this."
For real.
I've had people,
it should be the opposite.
and I've had people having this conversation in front of my children, saying, "How could you do this? Because we don't know what blood they are from."
Oh my God.
So it's not easy, and or even in my apartment, if I was down with my kids, people telling me how nice you are with them, like the real mother. Yeah, so I think the real mother thing. So, yeah, I think the challenges are really big socially. I do feel the needle has moved in the last few years. I think there's far more sensitivity to these issues. So, I really feel that if this is the path that we have chosen, then we need to have brave hearts. Yeah, parents need to have brave hearts. And I think we need to build the language of adoption into our daily life. Right? So I think one of the most fulfilling pieces for me is that both my children can speak easily and with great ease in all kinds of forums about their adoption without feeling, terrible or feeling small in any way. So I think these are really things that we need to shift, psychologically. There needs to be a shift in how we think about how families can be created. what are real families.
True. I think family is all about heart, end of the day. And it's
Absolutely.
about, the ecosystem we create within that. It doesn't matter in which way. I think with you, we're talking about inclusion because I think the family that you guys have built is just so beautiful. And end of the day, children need that. It's the love. It doesn't matter where they came from at all because when they look at the parent, they just look at them as that's the only thing they see, right? And it's our head, like how we look at it. So what's been your journey? And you had a child through surrogacy. Just help us understand that what's been kind of a pressure that you had from the society. I'm sure for you it's probably even more challenging with LGBTQ and all the bias that your group has.
So I think the one of the things that Antara spoke about is uh, be a parent only when you want to be a parent, and there is no said rule which says that a family is complete only when it has a child or kid in it, right? So I think every family is complete. Every family is in its own way. Of course, we would wish the family to be wholesome, loving, responsible, and all of that. But every family is complete in its own way. For me and my partner Mayank, when we started dating when we were criminals in India, right? So so of course, and we were very, very closely guarded in our own ways. And luckily or unluckily for us, I don't think that we look quote unquote gay, right? So it was easy for us to be disguised as any other man out there. And we chose to be that as well. And I think it's been a journey for us as well. So we've got common friends who've been friends with us since then to now, and they have seen our journey as well. And they say that this is the same Sougata who used to say 10 years back that I would perhaps never come out because what is the need to come out? But that stance of mine was largely because I believe that there will not be acceptance, there will be a lot of pushback, the challenges will grow, and no one's going to understand. That lack of understanding would also be in my own family with the parents that we have, middle class, small town parents. But when we started dating, life changed and changed for the good and better and best. But we always wanted to be fathers. I think that is something which we were very, very sure of, that we want to be fathers, but we were not sure whether we'll be able to do that in our lifetime or if at all. So I think both Mayank and I always say that it was not our dream because it was not even possible in our dreams, right? So it was as far etched. But as life happened and we came out to our parents, they took their own time to accept us. And once they accepted us, we felt that this is the time now that we need to, of course, in this journey, we got our two furry babies home. And, they are always our firstborn and secondborn, our two dog babies. But once our parents accepted us, and then we thought that let's do this, something which we earnestly wanted, right? We really didn't care about, because now our parents had accepted us, our family had accepted us. Now we were not very, deep. A deep boulder was, big boulder was off our chest, that, family has accepted us. You don't really care about what the world thinks much. And that is the time when COVID happened, right? So, and we always say that while COVID had, has been a very, very painful thing in history. But for us, it has helped us in two ways. One, it made us realize that life is so fragile. We keep planning and we keep planning, and then one thing happens and everything changes. So there is absolutely no reason for us to sit back and wait and think about how the world will react to our decision. Because one thing was clear, that we did not want to, when we were 60, 70, we don't want to look back at our life and, kind of repent that wish we had done this. Because, in most our lives, I think we would have, regretted things which we have not done much more than things which we have done. right? So, and this was not one of the things which we did not want to do and regret later. So yes, so COVID helped us that way. The second way where COVID helped us was while COVID was happening, all the laws of the country were focused around healthcare, and that gave us a window of around 6 to 8 months, because the surrogacy laws, which changed in December 2021, were up for like in one of the houses, either the lower house or the upper house, it was passed, but the other house it was pending, and COVID gave us that window because in the parliament it was only healthcare laws which were getting discussed, and this went into the back burner for a while. So that allowed us to think of surrogacy, and both of us were very clear that it was we wanted to be fathers, and it was the gene pool didn't matter, right? And we were very clear about that. So we did kind of explore adoption as well, but we realized that one, adoption is a long time consuming process. Our parents are septuagenarian. They wanted to be actively part of in this parenting journey. They wanted to be the dada dadi that they always wanted to be. So and hence we perhaps did not have that kind of a time because they weren't getting younger. So we opted for surrogacy, and we are blessed that way that everything went smooth, and we had a son and a daughter, touch wood. See, about the so of course when we decided this, when we sat down with our parents, with our siblings, with everybody. My sister lives in the US. She talked about the and this is before the Trumpage era. So it was far more accepting US, but then she still talked about what are the challenges of a rainbow family in the US, and we did evaluate all of that, and once our family was convinced that we are so sure about this, there was no looking back. And yes, the journey, we're learning. I think being a parent is a work in progress. It's always a work in progress, irrespective of whether you are a new parent or a 25-year-old parent. So I think it's a journey for us as well. We do face some questions, uncomfortable questions here and there. Where is the mother? Are you doing it right by kind of taking the child away from the mother? And we feel that all that a child needs is a wholesome family where they can thrive and be their best versions. And at our home, and I don't think that because it is a two-father household, we don't see the value of mothers. There are two amazing mothers in our home. Both our parents also live with us. I think, let me rephrase, we all live together. It's not they living with us. So we all live together. So we have amazing mothers in the house. Our sisters are amazing mothers. We have got great female friends who are also amazing mother figures. And most importantly, I think you did mention, Srobona, you did mention that there's a father. This father doesn't mind being called as a mother as well. So I'm absolutely cool being called as a mother, because motherhood has got nothing to do with gender. Absolutely nothing to do with gender, right?
I love that. See, that was the point we were trying to make, that motherhood is irrespective of the gender, and it's more about the feeling. That's what defines motherhood. And all four of them have totally defined what motherhood is. And thank you so much. There's so much that I want to get into, but we're trying to squeeze it all in, and there's so many other conversation as well that we want to have, and I think we have Tanaz waiting. But thank you so much. And any other parents here who have adopted a child, or one? We have just anybody who had a child through surrogacy? Okay, so we just have one. That's wonderful. So you should connect. I think parents who have adopted definitely need a lot of support, and also from the mothers community, we need a lot of acceptance. So if you see somebody in the park, like the questions, that was very heartbreaking, I'm sure, for you and for the children. And these are children with feelings. So I'm sure you get that. Yeah, quickly. That's beautiful. Exactly. I feel like we learned so much from that. So yeah, I think the way we define this needs to change. The way our society looks at adoption and LGBTQ parents or surrogacy, everything, to stop judging and to just embrace and to know that, we live in a world with diverse people, and each way is okay. There isn't one way of defining motherhood. So with that, thank you so much. Yeah, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, quickly, we just have like 30 seconds. We can wrap that up.
Hello. Yeah, the question is, I have a very close relative who has adopted. Okay. So, what is the age the parent should discuss about that you are an adopted child to the child, and how the child will accept it, and whether it should be by an expert or by the parents themselves?
Great question, and I think all three of us will answer the same way.
My name is
A,
Shanta.
Hi, Shanta.
And
So I would say from the moment the child begins to understand, the moment the child gets language. So we started with stories when my daughter was 2, less than 2. We moved on, and it's age appropriate. As the child grows, you get into more detail, you explain more, and you also know how much they will understand, right? So, Krishna, the story of Krishna is, and his two mothers, um, is the first example that we tend to go to. Should it be done by an expert? Not necessarily, but I do feel, like she said, like Sailaja said, counseling, pre adoption counseling, and counseling later is extremely important for parents to be able to deal with these issues and empower their children, right? So that while they do know that they are different, they do not feel that that difference is something wrong, right? And like I said, there is how will the child feel? It's really about how you feel about adoption, how you look at adoption.
they are very good parents, and
I'm sure they are,
yeah,
but they haven't told their child yet.
they
And
haven't
I have
told
come
the
across
child.
people who have not told their children till they're 16 and 18. And the
And is
child
it a
has,
must to tell, or
it is absolutely a must. It is the child's right to know.
Absolutely. And I think one thing that,
thank you, thank you.
Shrobona's group, she doesn't know, has helped me. They had a meeting a while ago, which she doesn't know I attended because she didn't attend. That's where I learned, see, it's the child that's important, and the adult adoptee will tell you what their lens is. You don't get to decide anything for them. It's their life, it's their journey. So, this question, while it's so important, and I value the fact that you had the courage to come and ask that question, let me put it very, very simply. The fact that we are saying it could be a secret is wrong. So let's get rid of that completely from today onwards. If we could take one thing away, be proud of the fact that somebody got adopted. I think that's far more an achievement than shitting one out, no? Anybody could do that. So that's the message to take away, and champion them at every chance you get. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's learn from the best teacher of all, nature. Nature doesn't distinguish. Every being gets the same amount of resources. And nature doesn't tell the plant to grow this way, that way, that way. And there's so much that we can learn from nature. And I work with children every day, and that is one of the biggest drawbacks. Parents are trying to mold their children as opposed to giving them space and letting them grow. And the expectations kill them. And none of them are realistic. So as moms, that perspective will also help us a lot and help us detach from the expectations as well. Thank you so much. So I'm going to give you a clue for our next guest. I'm going to say this is a very, very old TV series. Let's see if you can shout out the name. Hump Punch. Yeah, it's a very, very cute TV series, like, your classic Different Strokes. And she is very popular.
We're just going to, very quickly, can we do a little happy birthday song for Shogat? I mean, turning 40 is not something that happens every day, right? Should I lead it? Because y'all will run away. No? Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. And thank you for leading the way. Thank you for leading the way.
Mom Power 360, an empowering community for moms just like you and me.